so let's get to it. Okie dokie, so starting with your feet in your squat position, okay? Wherever that is. For most people, it's going to be outside of the shoulder, lining up with the inside of the foot, and the toes are going to be pointed out slightly to 11 and 1, possibly even 10 and 2, depending on what your hip structure is like. Okay? All I want you to do from that position is hinge over at the hips, reach down and just pop your fingers underneath your toes and pull yourself down into the bottom of your squat. Now that might be hips up here, okay? And pull yourself down into the bottom of that squat and then start to straighten at the knees. Don't worry about what happens to your lower back, just get a bit of length into the hamstring, pull yourself back down into the bottom of the squat, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and again lengthen. Okay, in that position, it's very much like a hang, where we're allowing the lower back to open up. Pull yourself down a 3rd time, pull yourself deep into that squat. Think about pulling yourself, trying to pull your hips underneath your feet, okay? Now staying down in that position, where however low you are, what you're gonna do from here is release one hand, and turn and reach up, and come back down. Touch the hand that's under the foot, reach around, get one more time. Nice, come on down, hand back under, changing sides, you rotate, opening up, excellent, good stuff. From that position, hands to the floor, come on down into an all 4 position. Okay, so the back's nice and flat now. From this position, what I want you to do is step one foot out, right to the side of the body. So it's going straight up at the side, perpendicular to your torso. And from this position, what I want you to do now is rock back, load that hamstring and the groin, and then have the hips come forward slightly and push back. You just want 5 reps here. Try and keep the foot that's out straight, trying to keep the foot pointing forwards and the sole flat to the floor. Once you've got 5 on one side, I'm going to change that up. So the other foot is pointing forward, and I'm going to rock the hips back towards the heels, and then come forwards. Trying to send the hips straight forwards and backwards. I want 5 repetitions. Very nice, good stuff. Once you finish your 5 reps on each side, you're just going to come up into a press-up position. And we're going to start with some shoulder taps. Okay, so a good solid press-up position, making sure that I'm controlling what's going on through my lower back, i.e. I'm making sure my pelvis is tucked underneath the body. And all we're going to do from there is you're going to bring one hand off the floor and touch the opposite shoulder, like you do in the Macarena. Okay, touch and touch. You want 5 reps each way without the body swinging side to side too much. Thinking about what's happening with the core. Pushing hard into the floor. Once you've got your 10 reps, stay in that press-up position, and we're just going to do some press-up plus. Okay, and that press-up plus is from the top of my press-up position. I'm just going to push the floor away to get my shoulder blades to spread out across my back. Return back to the top of your press-up position and push again. Nothing else moves. Okay, so all I'm doing through those reps is pushing the floor away. So the only thing that's moving is my shoulder and my shoulder blade. I'm not rounding, I'm not having my hips move back and forth. Once you've got your 10 reps, nice and slowly come up onto your feet. Okay. Just a few lunges to get the lower body really warm, and then we're going to make a start, okay? So we're going to start with a backward lunge, where we're going to reach up, nice and tall. Back knee goes towards the floor, stand back up. Get 3 reps on each side. making sure the weight stays over the front leg, and I'm reaching nice and tall, not behind. Once you've had 3 on one side, get 3 on the other. Feeling that nice stretch coming through the front of the hip on the back leg. Good, once you've had those 3, you're going to stick with the reverse lunge. But now we're going to reach down like we're tying our laces. Okay, so I'm going to step back and down, and I'm going to reach and touch the floor and come back up. 2 more. Further in front you reach, the more of a hamstring and glute stretch you'll feel. 3 on one side, and 3 on the other. Beautiful. Good stuff. All right. So, what we've got today is we're going to do some goblet squats to start. We're doing sets of 10. A little bit of a warning. We're doing 10 sets of 10. 10 sets of 10. Every set will be on the minute. So we got 10 minutes of squats. Okay. We're then going to do something similar with a single arm row. 10 reps on one arm, 10 reps on the other. Okay. That's going to get incredibly spicy because the rest time is very short. Okay. We're then going to do 2 core exercises. Okay. First of which is a dead bug variation. Okay. Now a dead bug, we're going to be laying flat on the floor, keeping the lower back flat to the floor, and I'm going to get my heel to touch, and I'm going to alternate. Now, the more I straighten at the knee, the more abdominal load I'm going to get. However, if your lower back starts to come off the floor, you need to keep it a little bit shorter. Okay? And we're going to do 10 taps on each side per set. So you can count 1, 2, 3, up to 20. All right? And that'll give you 10 on each side. However, we're doing it twice because we're going to take the weight and we're going to hold it over the shoulder like the start of a Turkish get-up. And then I'm going to get my reps in here. I'll get 20 reps, 10 on each side. I'll then change the weight over and I'll go again here. Okay? We're going to go every 90 seconds with that because there's a lot more repetitions to get in because we're going to do it on both sides. Okay? And then we'll finish with a bear crawl position, but we're going to drag the kettlebell through. Okay? So I'll be in my bear crawl position here. I'll drag the weight through, turn it over, put it down. Drag through. Now obviously if you're using a dumbbell, you don't need to flip the handle over. With a kettlebell, you want to drag it through and flip. Drag through and flip and put the handle down. Okay? Those are our 4 exercises today. Guys, okay? Goblet squats, single arm row on both sides. We're doing them individually so we can really build up some fatigue and start the week off the right way, I think. Okay, we got another 30 seconds before we start, so just make sure you've got your space all set up. So for a goblet squat, we're going to hold the weight up here. Depending on your squat position and what you're using, you can also squat with the weight down here as well, okay? But just bear in mind, holding the weight down there is going to affect your grip quite a bit. And we have got a single arm row. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, weight up. Let's squat, 10 reps. Nice steady tempo. 1 second up, 1 second down. Once you've got your 10 reps, nice and slowly lower the weight to the floor. First set will be nice and easy. So if you go on 1 second up, 1 second down, it should take you about 20 seconds to get through the set. If it takes you a little bit longer, not a problem, all right? This set can take you 30 to 40 seconds, really, doesn't really matter. So a little bit slow is what we want. We want that tension in the muscle. 10 seconds. I'm going to go for set number 2. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Thinking about the depth. Keeping the back nice and flat, even weight through the floor. Think about your posture, keeping the torso nice and upright. Good, 2 down. So that set took me 30 seconds. Nice and controlled. Comfortable depth. Okay, making sure that the pelvis isn't tucking under at the bottom. 15 seconds. Set number 3 coming up in 5 seconds. So think about your weight distribution through the floor, guys. 3, 2, 1, weight up. Think about your knees traveling in the same direction as your toes. So we don't want the knees collapsing in at any point. Weight through the heels on the ball of the foot. Nice. Good stuff. 3 sets down. So making sure that we're using all of the foot. Okay, so the heels shouldn't come off the floor. You shouldn't be rocking so far back into your heels that your toes feel like they're coming off. Even weight distribution through the ball of your foot, the knuckle of your little toe, and right through your heel as well, okay? Less than 10 seconds now. Set number 4 coming up in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Nice and controlled. I'm not rushing through the reps. Controlling. Nice and balanced. Making sure my elbows don't hit at my knees. And control the weight back to the floor. Good stuff. Heart rate's just starting to creep up now. We're through 4 sets. This set's going to take us to halfway. So if you're blessed with 2 kettlebells of the same weight, okay, you can have a double. If you want to go a little bit heavier, you can do, that's fine. Here we go, we're going in 3, 2, 1. We get that weight up, and away we go. Making sure we're standing all the way up. Keeping the elbows away from the knees. Don't let the weight dictate my body position. Nice. Control the weight back to the floor. We're halfway through the squats. How are those legs feeling this morning? All good? Good stuff. Remembering that you control the mechanical tension by how fast you move, all right? We don't need bouncing at the bottom of the squat. We want to use the contraction rather than the elastic energy stored in the tendon, all right? 3, 2, 1. Set number 6. Get that weight up and we squat. Let's go. Controlling the depth. Keep thinking about your posture as we squat. Not rushing, standing all the way tall at the top. Once we finish, we bring the weight down under control. 6 sets done. Getting warm now, which is fine, completely normal. 20 seconds before set number 7. Here we go. Getting ready, it's relentless. 3, 2, 1, up we go. Set 7. Remember, your squat depth is predicated on whether or not you can keep good body shape, okay? Nice and controlled, don't let the weight dictate your position. Making sure that we're balanced all the time. 3 sets to go. So as we reach the bottom of the squat, we don't want our rib cage to flare. We don't want to collapse. So how deep you go is going to be governed by how you can maintain your posture, which is to do with your mobility and how much stretch the muscles can tolerate. Okay, 10 seconds. Set number 8. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, weight up. And we go. Good control. Nice and controlled. Good tempo. Don't rush the set. Beautiful. 2 to go. 2 more sets. Walking around, controlling the breathing. 15 seconds left. Less than 10 seconds now, so let's assume the position. 3, 2, 1. Good solid position. Take the time, bringing the weight up, get it comfortable, and we squat. Nice and controlled. Making sure I'm using the ball of my foot and the heel and my little toe. We don't push the knees out too wide, and we don't let them collapse in at the bottom. Nice and controlled. Solid 10 reps. Don't let the weight pull you forward. When we're finished, you lower down. Awesome stuff, guys. 1 more set. Good. Controlled breath. Bring the heart rate back down. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Final set. Take it away. Lower back, nice and solid all the time. Core nice and tight. Don't rush the speed. Perfect job, well done. Take a breather. Whew. Good stuff. So 1.5 minutes now before we start our single arm row. So because we're going left, right on this, and the movement range is smaller, we're still going to try and keep this on the minute. Okay? So that single arm row position, we got 1 minute before we go. You can go with square stance, or you can go with a split, okay? If you're going to go with a split stance, whichever side the row is on, same leg will be back. So it'll be opposite foot forwards, okay? So you can either go in a square stance and row here, or you can split that stance, give yourself a bit more stability, and then row here. You can reciprocate the movement with the other arm. Don't mind a bit of torso movement. That's completely fine. Okay, as you row, elbow goes high to the ceiling. So we row here, not out wide. And we don't let the lower back round at the bottom, okay? So good solid lower back position. We start in 10 seconds. 5, so senior position. 3, 2, 1, let's roll. 10 reps on each side. Controlling the lower back position all the time. Good. Excellent. Change sides and get straight into the other side. Beautiful, good job. And rest. So tempo's less of a problem here. Okay. 10 seconds. Good news is we've got half the number of reps though. Okay, half the number of sets. We start again in 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So I'm going to reciprocate with my other arm because it lets my working shoulder move a little bit more. Elbow high to the ceiling. And when we change sides, lower back stays nice and flat all the time. I don't know about you, but my legs are definitely feeling that hold. 15 seconds, and we go again. 3 sets to go. Remember, you can be doing this in a square stance as well. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Makes you a little bit less stable. You don't get so much work from the split stance, which means that your upper back's having to do more stabilizing work as well. So you might feel it a bit more. Think about your posture all the time. Whew. 2 sets to go. Definitely feeling this. Remember, you can split stance if you want to. 3, 2, 1. Opposite leg forward to the working arm. Gives you more stability. Lower back flat all the time so I don't round. I change my stance, making sure that I've got a good base of support. It's getting pretty tough now with that same weight. 20 seconds before our final set. 1 more to go. Definitely feeling the upper back. Working really hard. Less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Letting that shoulder go with the weight. 1 more set to go. Keep my back nice and flat. Lower back flat, shoulder moves with the weight.
that. And rest there. Or rest when you're done. Good stuff. A minute and a half recover. And then we're going to move into our dead bugs. Nice job. With the dead bugs, remember we're going to hold the weight on one side for 20 taps. Shift it straight over, 20 more taps. We've got a minute and a half to get through all of that before we start the next set, okay? So don't rush. Lots of time, you've got 3 sets. Be interesting to see how the shoulders and the stability work of keeping that dumbbell up straight is going to go. 35 seconds. Okay, so remember, if you've got a kettlebell, the weight's going to rest on the outside. If you're holding a dumbbell, just hold it like a regular dumbbell. So don't rush these. Just remember that your lower back's going to stay flat to the floor all the time. We go in 20 seconds. My position's here, starting with my feet up and I'm looking to tap. Okay? The more you extend the leg, harder this will be. Your lower back sort of stay flat to the floor. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Nice and controlled. Keep the hand over the shoulder all the time. Once you've finished, slowly lower the weight. Exactly the same thing on the other side. That took me about 30 seconds to do it nice and controlled. If you're getting full extension, that's great. Just making sure that you're pushing that hand towards the ceiling. Keeping the lower back flat to the floor. Once you're done, lower the weight down and rest it on the floor. Nice. So that must take me about 30 seconds per side, which is great. Okay, as long as we've got good control of the lumbar spine and the pelvis, i.e. we're not seeing the lower back arch or the rib cage flare, we're in good shape. 2 more sets. And we go in 5 seconds. Press the weight up. 3, 2, 1. Start position, extend. Remember, you only extend as far as you can keep your lower back flat. Keep the weight over the shoulder. Once you've finished, lower that down and change your side. Lower back stays flat, rib cage pinned, head on the floor. Hand over your shoulder. Once you've finished, control the weight back to the floor. Excellent work, guys. 25 seconds before our final set. Catch your breath. So remember that we're just cycling the legs backwards and forwards, okay? They'll scissor past each other rather than one in, one out, one in, one out. One is to alternate, okay? Less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Weight up, and then we extend. Nice and controlled, control your breathing. Active with the hand. Once you've finished, lower the weight down, switch arms. Final set. Good. Slowly lower that weight down when you're finished. And breathe. Good, we've got a minute before we start our bear stance drags. And here we've got 10 in total, okay? So 5 pulls each way. We're going on the minute for these. We start in 40 seconds. So remember with that bear position, okay, we're starting on our hands and knees, with our knees under our hips, hands under our shoulders. Plant my feet into the floor, and I just lift my knees off the floor a few centimeters so my shins stay parallel to the floor, okay? Alrighty. Getting ready, got my weight down. Into the position, 3, 2, 1, away we go. I drag across, put it flat. 2, 3. Get it all the way outside the body. Back stays nice and flat. Once you've finished, lower to the knees and rest there. So what you might find with this is you need your hands narrower than your feet. So you might need your feet slightly wider than a regular bear stance to give yourself a bit more stability. 15 seconds and we start set number 2. Making sure our back stays flat all the time, knees are close to the ground. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Let's do it. Pushing hard through that stance arm. Trying to minimize the body sway. Once you're done, knees down and rest. We got one more set, guys, and that'll be us for the morning. Just control your breathing. So remembering all the time you want shoulders to stay nice and low. Same with the hips, we don't want our hips high. We want to stay low to the ground. Less than 10 seconds. Do this one slightly side on so you can get a better idea. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. I lift into position. I slide across without that lower back changing position too much. Hard press down through the stance arm. Pulling the weight right the way outside the body. When you're finished, the 10 reps, drop to the knees, and we are done. Nicely done. Just move your weight slightly out the way. Have a little walk around, grab a drink. All right. Good job there, guys. A lot of work, a lot of volume. We take the lower body out of the equation early to make the stance work harder, so our upper back becomes a bigger focus. And then the 2 core exercises have had a big shoulder girdle element in today as well, which creates a challenge off the back of the upper body work, okay? But nicely done. So let's just get into the hips a little tiny bit. So let's just drop to the floor. Down on the floor. Okay, all I want you to do when we're on the floor is just hit a figure of 4 position. And then the foot that's on the floor, we're just going to lift it off. Now you can either slide your hands through and pull it in. I actually quite like taking hold of the foot and supporting the knee and then drawing in this way. Allows me to manipulate the angle of my knee to get a better stretch into the glute. I'm just rocking that on and off. Excellent. When we're done, we're just going to lower the foot back to the floor, and I'm actually going to slide the foot over so that one knee is almost on top of the other. Then what I'm going to do now is the foot that's on the floor, that knee, I'm going to use the weight of my leg to draw the knee, the inside of the knee down towards the floor. And I'm just going to breathe on that, let the weight of my leg do most of the work. Thinking about where I'm feeling the tightness. I'm just going to hang out here, spend 15 to 20 seconds there, and then nice and slowly come back to the center. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I go figure of 4 with that leg that's just been stretched. Bring the bottom foot off the floor. Again, you can slide the hands through to grab the thigh. I like to grab the foot and the knee, and then I'm just going to rock back and forwards on that. Should be able to talk and breathe through these stretches. All right, nothing really intense. Good. Lower that foot back to the floor, then slide one knee on top of the other. Now that top leg, we're going to use that weight to draw that knee, the inside of the knee down towards the floor. Trying to breathe and relax, so I'm not carrying too much tension in parts of the body I don't need. Allowing that hip to open out. You might even feel it up into your lower back on that stretch side. Good, nice and slowly come back to the center. Now what I want you to do now, guys, to finish, is just hug both knees into your chest. Okay, you can cross the feet over, you can even hug into the crease of your knee if you want to. Lift the head and shoulders, tuck everything into a ball, and then just rock backwards and forwards, pulling the knees up into the chest, opening out the lower back. Once you're done, rock yourself up into a seated position, and that's Monday.